that if we are not careful, if we are not careful, we are going to cause a great pandemic, a great catastrophe in Ghana. There's a lot going on. People are not taking this virus seriously. That's one. People are not taking the precautions that's necessary. That's two. And then you have some people that want to play politics with this issue. That's three. Beyond that, you have this aspect of people that we are finding out lately that have been using religion, politics, etc., to take advantage of the masses and literally create wealth for themselves, right? And we have the issue of our health infrastructure. What needs to be done to fix it, right? Our health infrastructure. What needs to be done to make sure that, you know, we have a better health system, a health infrastructure? And how do we hold our leaders accountable to do that? So these are basically the things I want to talk about or have a discussion about, right? And I know it's been a while. I've not been online. So if you can join us. If you join us, share, and let's have a chat. And as always, as interactive talk show, when you join, kindly share, comments and ask questions, and let's have a conversation. All right, let's have a conversation. So, let's begin. My fellow Ghanaians, it is absolutely important that we begin to have this conversation, that we begin to take this crisis, this virus seriously. Like, we have to. Listen, guys, there's a lot of things that you can play, like I'm noticing we are doing the same things we do in Ghana. Certain things happen and we make jokes out of it. And, people get misinformed and we don't take it seriously. And people create all this different, comedy and stuff about it. And the elderly don't get the right information about it. And, people just conspiracy theories about, the Chinese created it. Of course, it came from China, we understand. They created it to take over Africa. There's all kind of misinformation out there. And the scariest thing I'm saying about this crisis is that we as Ghanaians are doing the same thing we do with every issue, with every serious emergency. We are so laid back. We are so comfortable. We have this lackadaisical attitude towards serious things. And I don't understand what we are not doing, what the government is not doing right, because I see everything that they are doing it what they're supposed to do, right? But we also have to understand that not everybody is on Facebook. Not everybody in Ghana speaks English. How do we get local actors? How do we get information in our local dialects for people to understand the seriousness of this thing? Because if we do not, if Ghanaians, I'm telling you, from what we are seeing abroad, America had a chance to get ahead of this thing around the end of December. And we have leaders who didn't take this seriously. You understand? We have leaders in America, the wealthiest country in the world, who had information about this issue around the end of December. But we have people who chose to ignore it. We have leaders who didn't take it seriously. They were still having festivals in New Orleans. People were still going to the beach. They were still having all kind of events. People were just going about. When we knew China was having a serious crisis, we knew Italy was going through it, people were just going about their life in America. It took forever, even up to now in America, it's taken forever for government to put restrictions in place, and it's been left up to the states and the mayors and the governors to make decisions that I believe the federal government should have been making those decisions. Do you understand? And as we look at Ghana, people are still going about their day like there's nothing going on. I mean, I've seen videos of the markets, and it's like, are you kidding me? Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Ghanaians, listen, this thing is not a joke. This crisis is not a joke. This thing is not a joke. It's not. Listen, if we are not careful, the level and the rate that this thing spreads, it doubles almost within a 24-hour cycle when it's not maintained. The level that this thing spreads and how fast it kills people, if we are not careful, we don't take this seriously, whatever government needs to do to stop it, the spread of it, whatever education we need to give people, if we are not careful as Ghanaians, putting in mind that we lack the health infrastructure to care for people already as it is. Already as it is, you don't have the health infrastructure to care for mass of people getting sick. You don't. And it's something that we will talk about, which goes back to decades and decades of leaders just ignoring to develop our health infrastructure because they could always have alternatives. This is not the case anymore. Do you understand? Please, wherever you are, whoever you are, first thing we need to do is to listen to every direction by government, every directive by government, every instruction by government. Let's listen to it. 2, life as it is until this thing is over, it's not the same. We cannot go by with our various activity like everything is okay in Ghana. It just is not. It's not. And we have to really understand this is something that if we play with it, the level that this thing affects and infects and spreads, it will literally destroy so many lives. If we play with this thing and it hits the main population, if you play with this thing and it starts affecting people in the markets, it gets to the villages, the amount of death that will happen, you guys will not believe it. This disease don't have a name. It don't care who you are. This disease don't play. It doesn't matter whether you are old or young, rich or poor. This disease don't play. It's unforgiving. Once it gets you, it's it. That's it. You are lucky, you know, you are lucky to be one of those who recover when it gets you. And literally about 80% of the people that get it recover. About 80% of people that get it recover. But understand that they are able to recover because of the health structures and infrastructures available to them abroad. People were able to get ventilators and all kind of health support, health assistance. We don't have that in Ghana. We don't have that in Ghana. So we have to be very, 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 very careful. Very, very, very careful that this thing doesn't spread. And the way that we are treating it with such, I'll keep watching videos of Ghanaians going about the markets, and it's like there is no, distancing, social distancing going on. There is no, like, people are just going about like everything is okay, and it's not. It is not. Like, seriously. So, I'm pleading. I'm pleading with all Ghanaians, whoever you are, whoever you are. Please, let's take some serious precautions. Let's make sure that we are protecting ourselves. Let's make sure that we are using hand sanitizer. We are washing our hands. Our hygiene is up. We are using social distancing, wherever, especially the market. Because listen, if we don't take care, and this thing hits in the markets, the general public, the way we live close by, we do everything close by, the way our system, our environment is, if we are not careful and this thing hits, it will be deadly. It will be deadly. Across Africa, we cannot play with this thing at all. We cannot for 1 second play with this thing. We cannot for 1 second play with this, coronavirus. It is deadly. It is killing thousands of people in America. Over 1,000 people in America right now. This is the most advanced country in the world. One of the wealthiest country in the world. And because we delayed and because we didn't take it seriously from the beginning, people are dying. So let's please take this disease, this crisis, this virus seriously. Please take it seriously. Okay. All right, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is how do we begin as Africans, as Ghanaians, how do we begin to hold our politicians accountable in providing health care, health infrastructures, health systems for us in developing what is in Africa, in developing the health system and health infrastructure in Ghana? How do we do that? We have to have a conversation about that. It's elections and politics are not just for power and come win power and chop money and just take advantage of your assets. Like, it's more to that, right? It's more to governance. It's more to governance. It's more to leadership. And how do we get that? How do we get our leaders to understand the importance of when you win power, when you get elected, there is a responsibility to help develop the nation. Not just sit there for 4 years, chop money, do the same thing that has been done for decades. How do we do that? How do we hold our leaders accountable that the health of the people, that the health infrastructure is important? Because so far they have shown us that they will not do it. If they will not do it by themselves, then how do we as citizens, how do we as Ghanaians, how do we get from local districts, regional districts, national districts, how do we get politicians to really care about the health infrastructure of Ghana and Africa? Because year after year is the same thing. What are we going to do to solve that? You know what? You start demanding and holding people accountable. You start telling people what you need them to do if they are elected. So a lot of times we look at the presidency. A lot of times the mistake that we have in Africa, in Ghana, is we vote along these party lines on everything without knowing the policies of individual ministers, people running for office, who become the legislators, who become the parliamentarians. You take the tap of the political umbrella of the presidency, we vote for the president. But you forget that you're also voting for individual people running for office also as ministers. And there's a way to change that. There's a way for us to really get people you can vote for based on their platforms and policies and promises. That you can vote for the presidency for one party, but because somebody else has promised to do something else on a different party, which is better than the party of the president, you can choose to vote for somebody else. And when they don't do what they're supposed to do, you vote them out. When you vote for the right president, the right person who is going to do what is right, but don't take it down. Don't assume that the policies of the president and the party are going to be their responsibility. The same thing that the individual ministers running for different districts are also going to do the same thing. No. When you start holding politicians accountable, we want a school, we want a hospital. When you win and you go to parliament, this is what we need from you as a minister, as a parliamentarian. When that doesn't happen, you vote them out. When you start, because understand, once they win, they have 4 years to do whatever they want. Once you vote for somebody and they win, they have 4 years to go do whatever they want. And with leadership, people will show you who they are as a leader even before you vote. They will show you by their actions, by their deeds throughout the campaign. About 50% of what people show you is who they really are when it comes to the actual elections, actual governance and leadership. You understand? So it's important that we understand that when people that we are voting for, you vote for them based on certain requirements that they have to meet. And when they don't meet that requirement, you vote them out every single chance you get. When we start doing that, when we start voting for people based on results,